Hammer test 1, 2, 8, 9. Everybody okay here? That guy in Portland got.
There we go. Good afternoon from Target Field. It's the final intra-squad game for the Minnesota Twins before they get ready to open the 2020 season in Chicago this weekend. I'm Dick Bramer, joined for this streamcast. Is that even a word these days? At any rate, we'll be working with Corey Provis and Dan Gladden as the Twins will get ready for their trip to Chicago. They'll leave tomorrow. They'll play a game against the Cubs at Wrigley Field on Wednesday night and then open up the 2020 season just a little bit later than hoped for, obviously, against the White Sox on Friday night. It's a beautiful, partly cloudy afternoon here, and the Twins will continue to get tuned up for the 2020 season. We'll see the Twins play a split squad arrangement, if you will. And we'll turn it over to Danny Gladden to get the starting lineups. And Danny, it's kind of nice to look at the two lineups, understanding that either one of these lineups could probably do pretty well against some of the 30-man squads that they'll be running against.
Yeah, no question about that, Dick. And I think that the guys are at a point right now where they've got enough at-bats. Final tune-up here, I think, for Maeda and also Smeltzer. Odorizzi scheduled to go yesterday, but I think that where these guys are at right now, give the players credit. I felt that the way they came into camp that they were ready to go, didn't miss much. And, of course, Rocco and his staff got everything working very good with the workout program that they put together today, running some bases, a ton of ground balls. They're also working on some squeeze plays and just some bunt defense is what we saw yesterday. So I think Rocco and the club right now, I think that they're ready. A light workout tomorrow. And will depart and head to Chicago with an evening game against the Chicago Cubs, which I promise you the players are looking forward to that. And then, of course, off day on Thursday, they'll have a practice there. And then, of course, then open up on Friday. And here are the starting lineups, and it is going to be Team Kepler again. He'll be starting in right field. Leading off, Mitch Garver will bat second and catch. Batting third, and in left field will be Eddie Rosario. Batting fourth at first base, second game back, will be Miguel Sano. Luis Arraez at second base. He'll bat fifth. Eddie Adrianza at shortstop, batting sixth. Batting seventh will be Lamont Wade Jr. DHing here this afternoon, batting eighth. It'll be Trevor Larnach. And at third base, batting ninth, will be Travis Blankenhorn. Pitching here this afternoon for Team Kepler will be the right-hander Kent Maeda. 31 years, 4 years in the big leagues. Maeda went 10-8 last year, and a big acquisition for the Twins here in the offseason. So, and here is Team Polanco's starting lineup, and it will be Jorge Polanco leading off playing shortstop. At third base, it'll be Josh Donaldson, DH Batting third will be Nelson Cruz. At second base, batting fourth, we've seen a lot of him, and that's Marwin Gonzalez. Batting fifth, and in center field, Jake Cave. Byron Buxton still a little bit under the weather. He was doing some drills here this afternoon and doing some runs, taking some fly balls with the outfielders, but Jake Cave has the start in center field here today. Catching, batting sixth, it'll be Alex Avila. And batting seventh, Alex Kirilov, having a nice little second camp here and plays well, and he'll be at first base batting seventh. Batting eighth, and in right field will be Aaron Whitefield. Whitefield will be the right fielder. He'll bat eighth. Batting ninth in the left field will be Lane Adams. Adams will get the start in left field. He'll bat ninth. Pitching for Minnesota here, 2-2 last year, has 53 days in the big leagues. Left-hander Devin Smeltzer. Smeltzer gets the start here today. His final tune-up, trying to make this club, if not as a starter, most likely, I think a lot of these guys, Dick, what you say, that are going to slide on in to possibly the bullpen.
Yeah, I think we'll see a 60-man roster, and we'll see a lot of players playing in regular season games that we might not normally see. Now, of course, the teams have a chance to start the season at 30. And Corey, Danny mentioned getting to Chicago, and everybody's looking forward to playing somebody else. Also be the first time these guys have shared a clubhouse together in a while.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dick, because how they've operated things here, the pitchers have been on the visitor side, and the position players have been on the home side since this new camp opened up just a few weeks back. But yeah, we chatted with fact we saw Tyler Duffy just around the ballpark earlier today, and we asked just casually about, have you guys been discussing how travel arrangements are going to go, in the sense that you're not going to have the big surroundings that you've had at your disposal here at Target Field in terms of workout facilities and getting dressed. They're all going to be bunched up together. We do know, and Rocco Baldelli mentioned this yesterday following the game, that they will travel 33 to Chicago. So the 30-man roster that you have to have for opening day, plus 3 on the taxi squad, they're planning on bringing 33 to Chicago tomorrow night.
Yeah, and we got to upgrade the term. It can't be a taxi squad anymore. It's got to be an Uber or a Lyft squad. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's a beautiful day here, and we can't be here, and we'll be able to hear some baseball and see some baseball, and we can't, help but look forward to when the home opener is here. Granted, there won't be fans here, but this still remains a remarkable ballpark. And the Twins are, of course, expected to do very well once the season gets started. But I'm really interested, guys, in your thoughts about this opening series, because I think most people in baseball think that the most serious challenger, and whether this is fair or not, but the most serious challenger to the Twins repeating as a division champion might be the Chicago White Sox. And the Twins all year long are going to have a bullseye on their back, and never more so than that opening series.
No question. I think that the White Sox are a team that much improved in that division, Dick. But, I'm looking at the addition here of Maeda pitching today, but also Donaldson just adding more firepower. And that, we lost Jonathan Scope. I think at our eyes it brings a different dimension to his game at second base. And then you're going to slide Sano over to first base. So they've added a little bit more offense, if you can, in Donaldson, but also, I think Maeda has really helped out the staff as well.
I was watching some of that White Sox-Cubs game last night, and the Chicago lineup does look vastly different when you add Encarnacion and you add the young Cuban outfielder Luis Robert, who has been putting up home runs day after day. So some of the young, promising players, Dick, that we've heard about and maybe read about, they're going to make an impact on this White Sox team. Now, in terms of pitching, Jose Barrios and Lucas Giolito, that'll be the pitching matchup on Friday, Game 1. Remember, Michael Kopech opted out. He will not pitch at all, not play for the White Sox here this summer. So that's a big, powerful arm that we saw before he hurt his elbow. In fact, made his debut against the Twins at Guaranteed Rate Field a couple of years ago. But they have Dallas Keuchel. That's a good team. I think the White Sox are a player, no doubt about that.
And of course, you have the Cleveland Indians, and the Indians had a really good squad last year. Not as good as the Twins, obviously. It's just interesting, and it really is true. I mean, we're going to be starting this weekend, roughly 102 games into what would be a regular season, and everybody's tied for first place. Now, by the time the Twins hit the field. Now, a year ago at this time, they were 6.5 games up on the Indians already. And it's not just the Indians, it's the White Sox. Tigers, Royals, they'll probably be a team not expected to contend who'll get off to a good start. They'll be able to ride it out to the end. 10 playoff teams, and who knows? There might be a surprise team or two in the tournament at the end.
There's no question there's going to be some surprise teams. They're going to be able to contend, but also I think there's going to be some surprise teams that were picked to maybe play well that maybe faltered a little bit. I think it's so important the first 2 weeks, 14 games, because yes, if you could get at 500 or play at 500 baseball, I think you're going to be okay. But if you drop down below 500 and you're trying to catch up, I think that 5 and 10 is going to hurt you a little bit. It's going to be tough to catch up after that.
And I love the line from the Royals All-Star Whit Merrifield about his career so far. This will be the first time that he has reached August, and he's a contender. And he's on a contending team. He's never been a part of that. He's a really good player. This is going to be fascinating. Some team could get really hot out of the gates that you did not expect. And a team, like you said, Danny, that may falter and maybe has to deal with an injury or two could be devastating.
I think that the good teams, if you miss a key player, the good teams can ride that out. They've got some people that are still superstars that can pick it up somewhere else. But if you're a team that just has one or two players that you really count on, I think if you lose one of those, then you're in a little bit of trouble.
Well, Devin Smeltzer will make the start here for the Twins as he makes his final tune-up start for what he hopes will be a role on the 30-man roster. When the Twins open up Friday in Chicago, they and all the other teams, of course, will be able to have 30 players at their disposal. That's for the first 2 weeks of the season. And then the roster size will be cut down to 28. And then 2 weeks after that, the final roster size will be 26. And that's the way it will be for the rest of the regular season. One of the things that was going to happen anyway, and it's going to happen this September, teams can't add a flood of players for the final weeks of the season. So instead of expanding rosters in September, by the time we get to September, the rosters will have shrunk. And then you just hope for good health and no injuries, and the hopefully best teams will rise to the top. Max Kepler will lead things off for the blue team with Devin Smeltzer ready to make his start here for the white team. The other day when we were doing is that a streamcast? I mean, is that what we're doing here? Is that even a word, or did I just coin it?
Sure, webcast.
Let's go with webcast. I like that better.
All right.
Yeah. And Kepler started the ball game with a home run against Kenta Maeda, and he stands in the box. And Smeltzer delivers. Fastball up high. Smeltzer, of course, did very well during the regular season last year. Had a tremendous major league debut here at Target Field against Milwaukee. Fastball gets a swing and a miss. And what Smeltzer has bolstered his hopes around is an improved breaking ball this year. He's not going to overwhelm anyone with velocity, throwing in the low 90s. There's a breaking ball right there, and that gets a swing and a miss.
Yeah, what he said about that breaking ball, fellows, was that it's an unconventional grip, that he put too much strain, he felt, on his middle finger. And now the pressure, Danny, is between his thumb and his index finger, and he throws it, releases it like a fastball.
And I'm sure there's a special grip that he has on it.
Fastball cutting inside, and Kepler swings through it, one away.
What I like about Smeltzer, especially this year, he's grown the facial hair out. To me, he looks a little bit bigger. But also, you look down there, how many guys, Dick, that you see still wearing the old pull-up socks?
The stirrups.
The stirrups with sanitary socks underneath them. So that's old school right there.
But one thing, and I've talked about this on our telecasts over the years, when a player does that, the one thing he can guarantee, I mean, you know this, when you wore the sanitary socks and all that, you threw them in a bundle, and who knows whose socks you got the next day. If you're the only one wearing them, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get them back the next day. Batter is Mitch Garver. And then he'll be followed by Eddie Fouled back just to our right, almost into what would be the Twins radio booth. But you guys are going to move over to the visiting TV booth because there will be no visiting TV announcers here.
We have upgraded here. We have gone from I think a studio to a one-bedroom apartment.
Oh, really?
This is spacious. We have a nice fridge that Kyle Hammer worked quickly on and got that up here in no time.
Popped up right side. First baseman Kirilloff tracking it. High sky here today. And it's the right fielder Whitefield coming in and making the catch. And the crowd appreciates the hustle by Aaron Whitefield making the catch. Now, I understand, okay, you got a nice bigger booth over there and all that. But Gladden really have to have the Murphy bed up against the wall?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, what Danny wants, Danny gets. Dick, you should know that by now.
Dick, I'm just worried that we run into those rain delays that
and you're getting up there. You need naps, within the game anyway, right?
I'm taking a cue from Nelson Cruz.
Yep. Here's Eddie Rosario with 2 down. What do you guys think of the crowd noise? Because I watched some telecasts. We experienced it here the other night. Rosario lifts it high and deep to right field. Whitefield looking up, and that ball's gone. A home run for Rosario. He golfs one, and the crowd really getting into it, with Rosario making it a 1-0 game.
Dick, talking to some of the players here, they kind of, they feel that they can tune it out, that it doesn't really bother them that much. But listening to it right now and looking at the ribbon board, and I think it's going to play. I do. I think it's going to be all right. The other noise, I heard what they do is they play that what is it, white noise, that. Crowd noise that it is a little bit, and then it's supposed to volume up when a bigger hit like the home run right there.
Down and in to Miguel Sano. Sano, of course, got a late start to training camp this time around with a positive test for COVID-19. Oh, rocketed off the glove of Smeltzer, and he's making the play. A bullet, and Smeltzer was able to flag it down with his glove, and thankfully he's all right. That ball was blistered up the middle for the 3rd out. Rosario with a home run, and the blue team leads it 1-0. Well, one other thought about the crowd noise. Nobody's trying to fool anybody, right? We know there's nobody in the ballpark, and if it adds a little ambiance to the radio broadcast, the television broadcast, what's the harm?
I was out here for just a workout last week, and that was before the crowd noise was piped in, and it felt a little stale, a little dull around here. Although I did enjoy hearing some of the dialogue back and forth. I thought that was pretty cool. But then being here the last few days with the crowd noise piped in, I think it's added something to it. And, the players, I'm sure, have, differing opinions on the matter. I'm sure the viewers and those that listen on the radio will, feel differently about it. But I think just being here and examining both, I've enjoyed this the last few days.
Dick, I just I was telling Corey the other day, you listen to the sound here at the ballpark scoreboard. Look from the top of the dugouts out to the field. It's Major League Baseball. Then you peek back, nobody in the stands. But if you can just focus out there, I think that you get the feel for Major League Baseball.
One thing, and we've seen in these scrimmages, foul balls, rattling around in the empty seats and all that, and the fan of me just has almost overwhelmed me. I went to dozens of Major League games before I caught my first foul ball. Ryan Sandberg hit one at Jack Murphy Stadium, and I caught it. I didn't pick it up. I caught it barehanded, right? And so part of me, as a fan, wants to leave the booth and run down there and get a foul ball because it seemed like I'd never got one as a fan.
Danny was tempted yesterday. We had a few in our section here yesterday, and Danny was screaming at a Twins employee saying, "Hey, those are mine."
We probably had 10 balls down here, and I told Kyle, I probably made the mistake by saying something on the radio. I go, Kyle, we're going to go down there and grab those balls. We can start collecting some balls. There must have been 10 down here. All of a sudden, one of the Twins high-up officials started picking up all the balls, and like I said, hey, those are mine.
Well, it's 1-0 here. The blue team now taking the field, and the white team will hit, starting with Jorge Polanco, Josh Donaldson, Nelson Cruz. Kenta Maeda pitching for the blue team, his last tune-up. It's interesting, yesterday, Jake Odorizzi was supposed to pitch for the Twins. He was sent back a day or two, maybe with some upper back tightness. And so Maeda, starting here today, might find himself pitching not in the opener against the White Sox on Friday. That assignment will go to Barrios. But who knows, Maeda, the newest Twin, or one of them, might find himself pitching Saturday afternoon in Game 2. Ball 1 down and into Polanco. And that's one of the, I think, really understated things that the Twins did here. Tapper foul, not knowing, of course, that the season was going to start as late as it's going to start. But the addition of some veteran pitchers, both in the bullpen and in the rotation, Maeda, Rich Hill, people like that. I mean, I think with Josh Donaldson getting all the headlines in the offseason in terms of Twins acquisitions, those acquisitions in the long run, if there is such a thing this year, could really pay off well for the Twins. Down and in, and a ball to Polanco.
Now, a wealth of postseason experience, too. If you look at it, too, just on the pitching front, per your point, Dick, with Maeda and Rich Hill, just a wealth of postseason experience in some huge, impactful games.
2-1 to Polanco.
Now, Maeda today, Wes Johnson said earlier today, Twins pitching coach, he's hoping for about 85 pitches out of Maeda today.
Just missed the inside corner. 3-1.
He was not too happy, Maeda, after his last outing 5 days ago when he worked 4 innings and gave up a run, 2 hits, a walk, and struck out 4. He told the coaching staff, I want more. Next outing I have, my last one, push me more. So hence he's going to go about 85 pitches today.
Driven to right, into the corner. Kepler tracks it down on the warning track, 1 away. Well, Maeda's a control guy, and he, of course, like any other pitcher, is effective when he gets ahead of hitters. The other night, he fell behind Kepler 3-1 and gave up a home run to Kepler. Now falling behind Polanco, he's able to get him on a deep fly ball. Here's Josh Donaldson. Donaldson, another new Twin, coming off a 1-year deal with Atlanta. 37 home runs, 94 runs batted in. And for the second time in his big league career, he walked 100 or more times. Cut and a miss. And here's the white noise Danny was talking about. This is what will be underlying play here at Target Field and in the other ballparks. See, what I think they ought to do is make it more realistic and have more, crowd noise that actually fans are saying, like, "Hey, you're in my seat," something like that.
Come on, JD, let's go. Yeah. Hey, where's the beer?
Yeah, right. Well, we got 3 guys working this year. Only one guy's doing play-by-play. You guys could fill in.
Good.
Yeah. Count to Donaldson's 1-1. And then missed the inside corner. Like Smeltzer, Maeda's not going to blow hitters away with his velocity, but he's a pitcher that spins the ball a lot, has very good command of his pitches,
and induces a ton of weak contact.
Yeah. And right down the middle, and so you get a good hitter like Donaldson, and you fall behind and maybe surprise him a little bit by throwing him a fastball right down the middle.
And that was a good display, too, by Mitch Garver, how he brought that low pitch up to be a strike, and that was something he excelled at, worked really hard on a year ago.
Breaking ball, slap foul into the netting. The netting's still up. Hadn't thought about that. If we're not going to have fans here, I suppose it's more trouble to take it down and put it back up.
Yeah, and I think that, eventually, don't you believe that at some point fans are going to be allowed into the ballpark?
Well, I sure
at
hope so.
At a limited edition, a limited amount of people.
2-2 to Donaldson. And Maeda strikes him out, 2 down.
That looked like a changeup right there. A pitch that Maeda threw more of last year, backed off his four seam. More sliders. That changeup was effective, disappearing down and inside to Donaldson.
Danny, you're a right-handed hitter, obviously. How many right-on-right changeups did you see?
Not too many, but here's a guy that throws them. I know that Brad Radke was a guy that would throw a lot of the changeups to the right-handed hitters. Usually, Dick, a right-hander to a left-handed batter, it's pretty much a fastball changeup. Right-handed hitter, it's fastball slider or fastball curveball.
Dug out of the dirt by Garver with Cruz at the plate.
Jose Barrios last year, fellas, right? He incorporated that changeup much more to both sides of the plate than he had previously.
One 1-0 to Cruz. I think those who don't know Nelly Cruz at all would look at his age, the disruption of his preparation for this season. Everybody had their preparation disrupted and might have been concerned that, well, maybe he might have a harder time than others in getting back into the groove. But it's been, 6 scrimmages and an extra base hit in every scrimmage. He just looks like he's locked in already.
Talking to some of the staff down there, said that he went back home to the Dominican and he said he's got a weight room down there that better than some of the gyms.
A couple of strikeouts for Maeda as he goes upstairs to strike out Cruz, and the blue team comes off the field with a 1-0 lead thanks to the Rosario home run. Again, the Twins will leave tomorrow for Chicago, and they'll have one exhibition game Wednesday night against the Chicago Cubs, and then they'll have a workout day at U.S. Cellular Field. No, I'm sorry, Guaranteed Rate Field on Thursday, and then they'll open up the 2020 season against the White Sox.
I think what I heard over in Chicago for the exhibition game on Wednesday that they are selling seats outside the stadium.
The rooftop are going to be open?
That's what I heard. I heard that at 50% occupancy, and and some of them are, from what I found out, that some of them are owned by the Cubs.
Yep.
Some of them are still privately owned.
Now, Corey, you of course spent a lot of time at Wrigley Field earlier in your career. Did you ever get out there to those seats?
I never have experienced a rooftop game there, either for a concert or for a baseball game. I never had a rooftop experience. Many friends have done it. And they've told me it's neat, the novelty's cool, but in terms of watching the game, if that's what you want to do that particular night,
not the place
it gets stale. But you still have a really good time, and you're out and about. Beautiful night in the city in the summer. But in terms of baseball viewing, the angle, the look, the novelty wears off early.
I guess it would be unrealistic to expect somebody sitting way up there to be locked in on the game when the fans in the bleachers aren't locked into the game, right? I mean,
they're locked in on other things, other distractions that may be going on.
I heard that when you go to Wrigley Field, and my daughter Ashley got the luxury to kind of be an intern there for one summer. It was fantastic. They said it's the largest bar in Chicago.
Fair.
That's fair, right?
When the team is good. And I was working there when Ashley was interning that summer, and that was a good team.
So it was large bar.
A large bar, about 40,000.
And what's nice is, once the game's over, it goes outside.
You don't just go home.
You don't.
No.
Well, now we're about ready to start the second inning. Good to see Luis Arraez back in the lineup. A little bit of a knee issue brought him out of the game a couple days ago, the inter-squad game, as he was going into second base, but back in the lineup playing second base. He gave everyone the impression last year that, as they say, he can roll out of bed and hit. So missing some time, I don't think, is going to be that big of a deal for him. I think of more interest to Twins fans. One strike to Arraez. Tapper up the line, foul. Of more interest might be Miguel Sano, who missed some time, and Byron Buxton, who's missing time now because their short history would suggest that they're slow starters to begin with. So we'll have to wait and see. Buxton claiming he'll be ready to go Friday in Chicago. We'll have to wait and see whether they might each be a little slow out of the blocks here once we get started. 2 strikes to Arise. Tap foul, staying alive.
Now, Dick, I'm sure you've been asked this question as often as Danny and myself about where you think Luis will bat in this lineup come Friday.
Well, because of my age, my heritage, because of what I grew up watching, I like on-base guys in front of the home run hitters. This guy got on base 40% of the time, and whoever you stack up behind him. You know, I mean, it used to be you'd have somebody who could steal a base leading off, but the stolen base has almost disappeared in baseball. So if they asked me, and they won't, I can promise you that, I'd bat him leadoff. 1-2. And back in the box, and he rifles a single to center field. All right, gentlemen, your thoughts. Where should he bat?
You know, that's the luxury Rocco has. He's got a lot of different pieces that he could kind of slide into that. But, you know, I do like Arise, and like you said, a good on-base percentage guy. But also you like the stolen base aspect. That's kind of gone away. They've taken the speed away from this game. And, you know, the premium used to be you have to have speed in the outfield, speed at short. Well, when they put a shift over, there's not really a need to have a shortstop with some range because I already got 3 guys over there. But I think Arise could bat anywhere, top, bottom. He's got some power, too. And what I like most about him, he's comfortable batting with 2 strikes on him.
Well, we just saw that.
You know,
he had 2 strikes, tapped 1 foul, got something he could handle, and whistled at the center field.
And, you know, we used to get a little frustrated with Joe Mauer in that he would take so many pitches, 2-0 pitches right down the heart of the plate. But when he got 2 strikes on him, he became like a 380 hitter. So he was comfortable that way.
Smeltzer with a look at Arise, who almost certainly won't be running here with the knee situation that flared up the other day and the fact that this is Monday and the real season starts Friday. 1-1. Corey, where would you bat Luis Arise?
I would stick Kepler. I would keep him in that leadoff spot. If this team was desperate for run production.
High to right field, fairly deep. Going back is Whitefield, and at the wall makes the catch. Ray Adrianza with a deep fly for the first out.
If they were in desperate need, if there were not enough run-producing power bats, then I would be more inclined to drop Max. But to me, he thrived in that leadoff spot. And I think the idea of going Kepler, Donaldson, Cruz, 1, 2, 3 is just awesome. That to me says right out of the gate, here's an early lead, here's some power. You know, guys that see pitches too. And while Kepler's on base percentage, Dick, wasn't as high as Luis's, still he was around 34%, 35%. Yep. Kepler was in terms of OBP last year, which was better than league average.
And Kepler did not strike out 100 times. And so, yeah, on the basis of, 36 home runs, 132 hits.
And I think he enjoyed it. I think he would tell you that. I think that he enjoyed that first pitch ambush, which we'd see Kepler utilize. 6 leadoff home runs last year, but
1-0 to Lamont Wade Jr. Half swing and a strike.
So then I think maybe he drops down. I mean, getting back to Luis, does he go 8 and Buxton 9, and you have a left-right at the bottom?
I think also what we saw with Rocco, in that if it was a left-hander, then he would drop
Kepler down, and
Garver, and even Polanco at times would be that leadoff guy.
Very high. Rocco Baldelli was asked yesterday after the scrimmage about, the options he has in the leadoff spot, and he said, "Well, frankly, I got options up and down the lineup. One day I could have, Miguel Sano hitting cleanup. Next day I could have Eddie Rosario hitting cleanup, Josh Donaldson, Nelson Cruz. I mean, everywhere you look up and down this lineup, there are options." Popped up, left side, retreating. Donaldson tracking the pop-up makes the play in short left center field for out number 2.
I think what the Twins have, they've got plenty of good starting pitching. They've got depth and veterans, and you were talking about all the veterans. They got Clippard also, veteran, been to the playoffs, been there in that Twins bullpen. But I think defense is going to be a little important for the Twins. I think last year with the left side of the diamond a little bit with some of the errors that they made, clean that up a little bit, but that's going to be key, I think, for the Twins.
Trevor Larnach stands in looking very much like a big league hitter. Breaking ball off the plate.
Yeah, Dick, we were talking the other day with Larnach, Kirilloff, all these guys here that they do look polished. They look like they belong up here.
Sharply hit, backhanded by Gonzalez, shifting, and he throws him out. Arai starts the inning with a single. He's left aboard, and after an inning and a half, it's the blue team leading 1-0. Well, it's going to be an interesting day on Friday. And of course, Wednesday will be interesting too because the Twins are actually playing somebody else. But guys, your thoughts about this season starting on Friday, a season that obviously is starting late, but for a good part of the last few months looked like it might not be played at all.
Yeah, I think there's confidence with the Twins. I think that they've had enough preparation. I think they feel good about going to Chicago. I think Chicago is a much improved team, but there's something about the Minnesota Twins when they roll into Chicago and how well they play there. So I look for these guys to have a ton of confidence going into that ballpark, not only with each individual, but also collectively as a team.
To me, too, and this is kind of a very narrow-minded view, but since we're talking baseball right now, in a small way, Dick and Danny, it's a shame we did not get a chance to see this team for 6 months. Yeah. For the full 162, the talent that this team has and had when it was all assembled for the first time in Fort Myers, this looked like a juggernaut that was going to be a tough team to really beat throughout a 6-month season. They still are. It is a fantastic team. It's going to be great theater to watch over these 60 games in 66 days. But then I've had so many moments, away from the park in April and May, early June, looking at the calendar, looking at the schedule. Boy, it'd be fun to be at Fenway today. It'd be great to be in Cleveland, a weekend series there. It'd be great to be at Target Field. Teams playing well. Yankees are in town, 2 firepower teams. And just missing out on that has been a shame, but we understand why.
And the most important thing, of course, is the games will be played. They'll be on the radio. They'll be on TV. And it'll be so much easier to be a baseball fan again than it has been the last 4 months. It hasn't been easy. There were ugly contract negotiations that were conducted in the hopes of having a season. The fact of the matter is, regarding, the virus, we're in worse shape now than we were in the middle of March. And I give these players an awful lot of credit. Both the ones who are playing, going through the rigorous protocol and the disruption that has been necessary to get the game on the field to this point, but also those who stepped away from the game because of health concerns. We will have a season. The ball spanked to right field, and Marwin Gonzalez singles on the first pitch he saw from Kenta Maeda. And that'll bring up Jake Cave.
Dick, as much as we're looking forward to the season start, and you talk about the protocol that these guys have to abide by, it's going to be a test for a lot of these guys. It's going to be a test for a lot of different teams, and that, the sacrifices they're making and to staying away from their family for so long, and, just things like that, the things that you normally, everyday life that you would take for granted.
I think it's good in a way because the biggest challenge for these guys is going to be life on the road. Regardless of what life away from the ballpark is like for you on the road, it will be changed an awful lot. You'll not be able to go to the favorite restaurants that you've liked to go to. You won't be able to, Corey, Dan, you and I, we all spend some time in the fitness centers and the hotels. We don't even know if they're going to be open, right? And the players very often are in the gyms working out, getting a light workout in the morning. Could be 2, juggled by Arise, so he'll get just 1. And on the play, Gonzalez goes to second base. But, so the Twins will get a taste of what road life is like in Chicago, of all places. I think everybody's one of their favorite cities to go to. And so they'll be there, and they'll have 1 series, then they'll come home, and they'll have a feel for what it's going to be like on the road this year.
And in terms of transportation on game day to the ballpark, the Twins are only going to permit 14 people, and that includes players and staff on a bus at any one time. That they're going to have 4 different bus times kind of spread out in advance of a 7 o'clock game. But they're going to be pretty strict about that 14 to 15 people max on each bus at departure time.
Lifted to left, carrying fairly deep. Going back is Rosario, still going back, and the ball's gone. A home run for Avila to the opposite field. We saw that when he was playing for the Tigers, briefly with the White Sox. The guy, when he makes contact, he can drive it a long way, and it's a 2-run home run.
Now we saw Marwin Gonzalez, aggressive swing, first pitch of the at-bat, singled. Avila wasting little time. He swung first pitch and homered out to left center. After Maeda was able to get ahead of, Donaldson and Cruz and even Polanco in that first inning, these guys are not waiting around for 2 strikes. This happened.
Here's where I went home and I said, boy, the bats are ready to go. And they're swinging really good. They're putting the ball in the seats. And then you kind of scratch your head about, well, they're hitting them against our pitcher. So our pitcher's not ready yet.
Here's Kirilloff, another major league ready prospect for the Twins. Outside of ball. At these scrimmages, I'm guessing I've seen 7 home runs. 6 of them have gone to the opposite field.
Yep. And, somebody floating the question around here. Are they going to use the balls they used from last year? People feel maybe a juiced baseball.
Fouled back. Well, when they're playing here at home, the Twins will have special commemorative baseballs that they will use with the 60th anniversary logo on the baseball. But what the ballistics are to the baseball they're going to be using this year, we'll have to wait and see. 1-1 to Kirilloff. That's hit to center. Wade drifting over, making the catch for out number 2. So now we're going to divide this up 3 different ways here in terms of play-by-play. I'm just going to do the first 2 innings, and then, Danny, you're going to do the next 2, and then Corey, you're doing the last 2. So
I believe so.
So, but see, I'm not used to that because I've always done play-by-play of every inning. What am I to do now when I hand the reins over to Gladden here for the middle 2 innings? Do I just sit here? Do I go get something to eat? What do I do?
Well,
there's nothing to eat
here. I think you just continue to do. If you want, you want my 2 innings.
No. I'm not saying
I
that
would
at
hope
all.
that you would stay and still make some comments.
The last time I surrendered play-by-play to somebody was when I was working with Jim Cott years ago. Now, Jim is a really good play-by-play guy. The problem is, what am I supposed to talk about, right? I mean, I can't analyze with Jim Cott in the booth. I could read the promos.
We'll do what I
We're not
always
reading
do.
promos.
So during the middle innings, when Danny's calling the game, I analyze Danny's life. And we get in deep about Danny's life.
And you're not going to do that, Dick. Hey, and I know there's some glass in between us.
A strikeout to end the inning, but an Avila home run putting the white team in front, 2-1. Well, the Twins are opening the season, and just the sense I get, and I don't think this is hyperbole at all, it's going to be the most anticipated season opener in Twins history because of everything non-baseball related. You just think of what we have gone through as a nation, and then what we regionally have gone through here. And just to be able to have a distraction. I don't know how you guys are going to handle things on radio, on TV. We're going to be hopefully just providing a diversion for people from all the grief and all the bad news of the last few months, and just give them, if they want, an escape to a more pleasant time.
Dick, talking to a lot of my friends here, a lot of the farmers out there, they have, like ball players, like us, when we come in here, we have a routine that we like to do to prepare. People out there also have a routine that when they got home, they were able to turn on a Twins game or listen to it on the radio, and that was their daily life, and it's been disrupted in many ways. And now that they're going to get some baseball, I think that people are looking forward to it. I think the ratings are going to be through the roof. I would think that everybody's going to want to tune in and watch some Twins baseball.
Devin Smeltzer will start his third inning of work. He gave up a home run to Rosario, a single to Arise.
Smeltzer's I think he showed up last year and showed a little bit different as from Thorpe, who we saw pitch the other day. And that's one thing that Rocco said, or Wes Johnson said, that really doesn't want to have similar guys for certain roles. So I think with Smeltzer, different than Thorpe. And now the batter's going to be Blankenhorn. He's going to lead this inning off here in the top half of the third inning, 2-1. I've got a Polanco's team, which is the home team, white uniforms. And Smeltzer delivers good fastball movement there. No balls and one strike.
Now, Devin, great story, as we documented often last summer, cancer survivor. And coming up next month, they'll be cancer-free, God willing, for 15 years.
Off speed and a swing and a miss. One of the few guys that I've seen that actually the pitchers are allowed to take that wet, damp rag out, and he's got his clearly visible in his back pocket. And tap foul at home plate. Major League Baseball do not want players going to their mouth and then to the baseball, so they've allowed them to put a kind of a wet cloth in their back pocket. From what we found out, the cloths that they were providing, it had some sticky or a slippery substance on it. So they are going to reorder some different types of cloth that I feel will be here by the opener. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-2.
Is it like a microfiber?
Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. And it leaves little, furry, fuzzy stuff still on you. But, a lot of people will use that sunblock with some baby powder, and that's a little bit of stickum. Tap foul, staying alive.
It was interesting when we did the, what did we decide, webcast? Is that what we're calling these things?
Webcast.
When we did the, Justin Morneau and I did the webcast the other day, we had LaTroy Hawkins mic'd up from the end of the dugout. And he said he'd really have a hard time with it because he was a finger licker. I mean, on the mound all the time. You step off the mound to do it back then. But he always went to his mouth, and of course they don't want you to do that now. But I guess when I found out they were doing that, I thought, and Danny, you must have hit against Gaylord Perry, right? Maybe not?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it would have taken him off of his game because, I mean, a big part of his success was going through all the gyrations where people thought he was putting moisture on the ball. Well, now he wouldn't have done any of that because you just reach in your back pocket.
He's got it right there. It's legal. Blankenhorn does strike out. And now Kepler on a breaking ball takes it in there for a strike. Garver due up next. And a pitch. Swung on a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. The other thing I noticed is that we saw it when the guys come in from the bullpen, they bring their own rosin bag. And when Smeltzer, I believe, when he leaves this inning, he grabs his rosin bag, and Maeda would bring his own rosin bag out there. So a lot of different things going on. And a swing and a miss. Kepler with 3 pitches. And he'll walk back to the dugout. And there's strikeout number 3 for Devin Smeltzer.
And he's got Kepler twice.
And here's Garver to bat. They had a Chalmers yesterday was out here, Dick, and he kept going to his mouth trying to break that habit. Finally, the umpire had warned him, and then he said, throw the ball out. So he was trying to learn that, and I think we were talking to Duffy. Duffy said that he used to always do that a lot, but he has not had to do that so far. Garver takes it in there for a strike. Smeltzer getting on a little of a roll right now. And here's the pitch down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garver reaches Rosario with bat next. And here's another guy that hit mostly top of the order for the Twins last year. 31 homers, and where he's going to be batting. Misses outside.
And Garver, if you break down some of his hitting numbers last year, not just the raw numbers, an emphasis more on pulling the ball, attacking the ball, getting out in front. 60 to 70% of all home runs are pulled. And so Garver just changed his mindset about how he wants to swing, when he wants to swing.
Wasn't it Rudy that said he's one of the quietest hitters? And lifts this one in the air to right center field. And that's going to be a routine pop-up right there. Whitefield retires. Garver 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. But Rudy was talking about in Garver and how quiet he was in the batter's box. And he's a low maintenance guy because he doesn't have a lot of moving parts that you're trying to work on.
Some guys too, they have their A swing, and then maybe when they get down a couple of strikes, 0-2, 1-2, they'll choke up a little bit. And I asked Garver about that. He said, look, I want to have my A swing all the time and just take my chances based on film, based on scouting report, based on how I'm feeling. That second time, maybe third time I see a guy, I want to make adjustments knowing that he's going to make adjustments. But I'm still going to focus on my A swing, and that was part of his success last year.
And Danny, I played baseball a long time ago in high school, but I've worked with some really good former players up here, and they talk about the shortness of a swing. Now, to me, if I can recognize such a thing, Garver's got a really short swing. Is that right?
I would say he's short, compact, and he generates a lot of bat speed, and that's where a lot of the power comes from. And but yeah, if you watch him, he's very quiet in the batter's box. Kind of a flat bat, and then he'll kind of get in that load position, but it's not in a hurry to get in there. It's very rhythmic and very smooth. And, he is a strong kid also. But, we used to, you get 2 strikes, and yes, you would see a lot of guys choke up. Brian Harper was a guy that we would always make fun of or tease him, that he would get in that 2-strike mode where he would spread way out in the batter's box and wouldn't even take a stride, and he was just a defensive swinger at that point. And of course, Harper hit well over 300, helped us win the 91 World Series. But certain guys, and you hear from Garver that he wants that A swing every time.
Brian Harper in 1991 had 441 at bats, and he struck out 22 times.
Yep, and that was the
Twins have players who will strike out 22 times in a week.
You know what? It's no longer 100 strikeouts. I want to say it was Corey Koski that struck out 100 times, and Tom Kelly. I think it was a rare time that he had a player that struck out 100 times. And Koski, I think, also drove in over 100 runs as well. So with the strikeouts, if you're driving in the runs, it's okay. Maeda back out there, and he delivers a pitch, catches the inside corner. Number 9 hitter, Lane Adams. He's in left field. 2-1, it's Team Polanco. And Polanco in the on-deck circle right now. Maeda delivers, hit down the left field line. That's going to go well foul. Maeda was not so much how many innings. I think he was looking at 85 pitches. And we've seen that before, to be able to go 85, even if it was in spring training. getting ready to break camp at 85 pitches. They feel then the next outing he's at 95 to 100 pitches. Head 0-2 is Maeda. And ball in the dirt.
What do you guys think? Will there be any benefit for Maeda changing leagues?
Yeah, people ask me that when I came over from the National League. You know, the biggest thing for me was learning the pitchers. And that might be the biggest challenge for Maeda is learning the hitters. And that was peeled straight back. And I think that's where you're going to rely mostly on some catchers. You're going to probably look at more film than maybe you would in the past and just try to, categorize what kind of hitter you think he is.
You could save it too. In the National League, 8-9 hitters, pitcher hitting, say a light hitting catcher hitting eighth. You could save some max velocity. Some of your effective pitches that maybe you want to use second time, third time you face the lineup in a given start, knowing that there are some weaker points in a National League lineup, whereas with the DH, now everybody's got the DH, of course, now in 2020. But I think that's certainly an adjustment that a pitcher would have to make, is seeing that DH.
Swing and a miss, strikeout there, and Maeda picks up his 4th strikeout. Corey, there's some truth to that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to let up. I'm not going to, I'm going to come right after him. If you got a pitcher there, I don't want to waste 4 or 5 pitches on him. I want to hurry up and eliminate him with either 1, 2, or 3 pitches and get him out of there.
I heard Zach Greinke talk about that earlier in his career, that if he was facing a pitcher, now he would vary it if he was facing, say, Madison Bumgarner or a really good hitting pitcher. Mm-hmm. But instead of needing 94, 95 to get a ball by a number 3 hitter, he feels confident with movement, take something off, rely more on movement, that I can beat this guy throwing 90, 91.
Blanco fouls this one off at home plate.
Remember years ago, every time we go to Cleveland, Bob Feller would always be there, the Hall of Fame pitcher, and Bob was never shy about expressing his opinions.
Here's the 0-1 on the way to Polanco, outside, missed.
And I asked him once, I said, Bob, what do you think of pitching these days? Understanding, of course, that I was going to get at least a 3-minute response. Basically what he said was pitchers are the dumbest people on the planet these days, because they pitch to the 8 and 9 hitters like they're cleanup hitters. And I mean, there's a reason pitchers of that era, not just Feller, pitched so many complete games, because they would pace themselves over the course of a game and through a lineup, and you wouldn't pitch to a 180 hitting shortstop and a 120 hitting pitcher like you would, like they're cleanup hitters.
Polanco's worked the count now, 3 balls and 1 strike. Maeda hasn't walked anybody. 4 strikeouts. He gave up a 2-run homer to Avila. Donaldson bats next. And here comes the heart of the order for the Twins. And lifted foul, got a piece of it. Well, that's one thing that I think the Twins also did well. In particular, we saw it with Polanco last year. How many times he extended his at bat with fouling so many pitches off. And really kind of, now you look up there, that pitcher's pitch count, it might be at 80 and he's in the 4th inning. A lot of times it guys like this that can battle. And a 3-2. Lined into left center field, and that's going to land for a base hit. Wade cutting it off. Polanco, he's ready for the season. He's got a couple of hits yesterday, and 1 out single here, and that's going to get Josh Donaldson to the plate. Donaldson was working today with Sergio Romo, and Romo would love to have been in that conversation. Romo and Donaldson talking about hitting, and it's probably a combination of picking his brain about pitching, and Romo learning something from a pretty good hitter. A breaking ball that drops in there for a strike. Runner at first, 1 out. Maeda out of the stretch. And here it is. Lined into right field. That's a base hit. Let's see Polanco. He's going to try for third, and he'll make it easily. So Donaldson going the other way. And that's going to get Nelson Cruz up first and third. You saw Polanco go the other way. Now you see Donaldson.
And I've seen Donaldson get 3 hits, a home run and 2 singles, and he hasn't pulled one yet during these scrimmages. And, the home runs speak for themselves, but what the Twins have got in Josh Donaldson is an accomplished hitter. And we saw him beat the shift with a ground ball here the other night.
As common as it was last summer to see Miguel Sano attached to Nelson Cruz, it's been common to see Josh Donaldson connected with Mitch Garver. Often here, even going back to camp down in Fort Myers, those two just seem to be around each other, talking, hitting constantly when they're at the ballpark.
Big opportunity for Cruz here, and takes it inside tight. And I would say that conversation with Donaldson, Romo trying to get an idea of what a hitter like Donaldson is thinking in certain situations. And that ball's hit to right field, and that hit well. And Kepler, he's going to drift over, dives for it, can't come up with it. It's going to roll to the wall. Polanco's going to score. Donaldson into third base, Cruz into second. That was just a sinking line drive that Kepler dove and tried to backhand it, and it skipped by him.
Now this game doesn't count, but if this were a game that counted, I'm guessing Nelson Cruz would have had a little chat with Josh Donaldson. And Nelson Cruz has gotten a few triples in his life, and this would have been one. But Donaldson just kind of glided into third base, and hey, the game doesn't count. We understand that. But if this were a game that counted, I think Cruz would have said, hey, man, I could have gotten a triple there.
Cruz did not have any triples last year, and I think he's kind of saving that for maybe something a little bit more important.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's one out, they have second and third. They're going to play the infield in as Donaldson's at third base. And Donaldson might have held up a little bit. Pitched down and away. Boy, Garver almost got handcuffed there.
That's something we won't say very often, though, will we? Josh Donaldson held up. I mean, he's a pretty intense guy.
Yes. But he had to hang around the bag, and, if Kepler comes up with it. And here's where the Twins have been working on some defensive plays. Worked on some again here today prior to the ball game. And again, infield in, I believe. Check swing, he went around on it. Yes, he did, 1-1. But the other day we saw it with with Whitfield, who runs very well. Rocco came out late in the ball game around the 6th inning and placed players out there. Had his infield play in, and it was a contact play, and Arise missed the ball. Whereas here, you've got your star player in Donaldson, Cruz out there. They're going to probably tell him, hey, see the ball through. No contact plays here. And a swing and a miss, good little slider down and in, and Gonzalez now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maeda, an easy 1-2-3 first with a couple of strikeouts, and then getting roughed up.
Tyler Duffy is warming up in the bullpen, but I don't think that's for Maeda.
And here it is, 1-2. Little line drive, dive stop by Sano, and he backhands it just off the ground. Well, does that mean Sano's ready defensively? That was a step and a dive and kind of a broken bat changeup. And hit to Miguel Sano. And here's Jake Cave. Yeah, we're going to get a pinch runner for Nelson Cruz, get him off the bases. I think that's Reinheimer out there. We see a lot of that. Rocco's done a great job in running this camp here and getting guys off the field. And here's a guy getting a little playing time right now. And Jake Cave, we did see Byron Buxton today. He did take some fly balls with the outfielders. He did work with the strength and conditioning coaches and running. And he says that he will be ready for opening day Friday. As Cave takes it outside, ball one. I like the inning. It was Polanco going the other way, Donaldson going the other way, first and third, and then Nelson Cruz going the other way with a double RBI. Yeah, big swing and a miss. Cave came up empty. And Jake got playing time last year, 72 games. He hit 8 homers, drove in 25, and the more he plays, the better he is. Maeda trying to get in the dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a swing and a miss. Maeda's got an assortment of pitches. And sometimes people think he's got too many, but it's a matter of commanding them. He's thrown a couple of sliders down and in. He got Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, and he got him to jam out. A soft liner, and he's throwing a couple down and into Cave. Let's see where Garver sets up. And a fly ball left field. Rosario drifts back. Lost one in the sun the other day, but catches this one just fine. And the Twins push another run across, and they leave a couple. We've completed 3 here at Target Field. And that's Team Polanco 3. And Team Kepler just 1 right now. When the team came back into camp and their first workout, everybody looked like they were in great shape. And the one thing I noticed, I thought the groundskeepers had, if anything, got a little bit out of shape.
Think so?
Yeah, that's.
Is that just your opinion, or are you hearing that from others?
So that's what I'm seeing visually.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I know a lot of those guys down there could be wrong, could be disguising something, but.
And Dick, didn't you work a game as part of the grounds crew a few years ago?
One of the worst experiences. I made the mistake of telling somebody who was in charge of things back then that when I was a kid, I thought being on the grounds crew would be like the coolest job in the world. And unbeknownst to me, he thought I was still a kid and made phone calls and all that and put me on the grounds crew for a day. And I thought, well, now what I should have told him was when I was younger, I thought it'd be great to have a date with Raquel Welch or something like that. And maybe he could have pulled some strings to make that happen, but that never happened. But thank goodness it didn't rain.
Well, and I wasn't on that tarp, right?
I wasn't on the tarp crew.
Did you just do it for the whole game, or was it just a few innings that you got to go out there?
I got here like 3 in the afternoon.
Gotcha.
And they didn't trust me with anything important.
So you couldn't chalk the line or anything?
No. And I was disappointed about that. But apparently the batters' boxes and the lines themselves have to be at right angles. I didn't. What difference does it make, right? If the left-handed batter's box looks more like an oval, what difference does it make?
Well, that's usually the on-deck circle. They might let you chalk the on-deck circle dirt there.
I raked up sunflower seeds. I think that was the most demanding thing that they had me do.
And the 5th inning, of course, you come out and you drag the infield again. You had to wear khaki shorts and you had to dress up, right? Or wear what they were wearing?
Oh, yeah. I had khakis on and a golf shirt. I was a little disappointed because they did trust me in putting in third base before the game, and I had a terrible time.
It's harder than it looks?
No, I don't think it is. I just had a terrible time. You just put the thing in the peg in the hole and you press it down, but it took me a while.
Here's Rosario, new pitcher. Tyler Duffy right now, right? He delivers, and it's in there for a strike. Duffy. Had a good conversation with him. He's very relaxed, isn't he? This guy here filling a big role with this club this year. Pitch inside, moves Rosario off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He became a Proud papa back in the spring. He and wife Sarah and a baby boy named Teddy.
Eddie homered his first time up and fouls this one back to our left.
Like that ball right there, Dick. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Rattling around just beneath our booth.
I know right where it is right now.
It's saying, grab me. Somebody.
I'm going to grab it.
All right, Duke. See you later. Good job today.
Hey, Hammer, when he goes out that door,
Lock it.
1-2 on the way to Eddie, and this one's fouled straight back.
Getting one more.
No, that one's in the
short
Champions Club. A lot of the players look up here. They think that we're in charge of the music.
I got that yesterday.
You know that?
I got that yesterday.
They look up here, and it's like, we were playing music when the guy was batting or something, and I saw Nelson Cruz look up here like he was upset, and I'm kind of hiding behind the monitor, or that you point to Hammer. And that ball's crushed into center field. It caved back, and he's going to have room right on the warning track in front of the wall. Rosario hit that ball well. Off of Duffy, one out. Who called you on your playing the music? Was it? Look at Dick, he can't find it. Yeah.
So Dick Bramer right now, let's provide some play-by-play. Put his mask on. He's navigating.
It's wedged in between the seat. Uh-huh.
All right, he's reaching down in a multicolored golf shirt, and now he put
I'll
his
help him out.
hands
One more.
up.
Dick.
Coming up.
Dick. Right there. Yep. You got to help the blind, right? Look at him. Look at him. It's outside to Sano.
He's got it. There he is. It's a great look.
Well, have you seen the ball that he's got on his desk? Well,
Yeah, that thing's been around.
Did you lock the door, Hammer? Snow takes it outside. Well, wasn't that the ball that his book? Wasn't it on the cover of his book?
I think it was. I read his book this winter.
Sweet. Yeah.
Or this spring, rather. Came out in the spring.
You got one. And Snow swings and misses there. Good little slider there by Duff. Wasn't he having the kickoff of the book?
Spring training, right?
Was it spring training? I thought that
he was going to have a big signing party release event at the CenturyLink Sports Complex one day, right?
And it got canceled, though, didn't it? Because somebody got sent home. That's a strike three looking by Miguel Sano. So 2 down. Here's Arise to bat.
All right, I got 2 of them now.
You do? Two what?
Well, the Ryan Sandberg thing from 1986 or whenever it was, and now this foul ball. We've had a few up here in the booth, though.
Yeah, but you said you caught Sandberg's on a fly.
I did, barehanded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Danny is wearing his glove right now.
I know
I think of many times that Kansas City comes to mind, Dick, where you've said on the air the old joke about Danny and Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's his joke.
Right. What is that joke again?
No. You don't need to encourage him.
Well, it's not mine.
Yes, it is.
No, it's what do Michael Jackson
and Danny Gladden
have in common? They both wore a glove for no apparent reason. But
ouch.
That's not.
Ouch.
But that's not my line. That's something that somebody else said.
And you were just
on a broadcast, and I just
repeated it.
I thought it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But as I recall, the incident in Kansas City, didn't it break your watch band?
That was in Detroit.
Oh, there's another one. Okay,
that was Detroit.
Right. Okay, now.
But wait a minute, Dick, because it did. It broke my watch band. But you know how in Detroit you got 2 windows with a beam in between it?
Yeah.
That came through my partner's window. So I ranged too far to my left to protect him, and in doing so, it hit my wrist.
Okay.
Rise, look out. Nice hit right back up the middle. He's ready to go. He has 2 hits, both of them right up the middle. Is there certain ballparks that you go to? And I know that wasn't it Old Tiger Stadium that you were hunkered out almost?
I would I would borrow a glove from Kirby Puckett whenever we would go there, figuring if I did get a foul ball hit back towards me, I needed all the help I could get. I was going to go to a Gold Glover and use one of his gloves instead of somebody else's. And I caught a foul ball. This was with my own glove because Kirby wasn't traveling with the team anymore.
A-Ray lifts it into the shallow center field. Cave's going to call it late, but he'll get there in plenty of time.
I caught a ball off the bat of Jock Jones in the last Twins game played at Tiger Stadium. And I have that prominently displayed in my office. And I caught it. The ball landed in my glove. My watch band didn't get broken or anything. I'm wondering how, as a professional athlete, I'm thinking, okay, now the glove ends at the base of your hand.
Yes.
And then there's roughly 2 inches to where the watch band is.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be a major miscalculation.
Okay. I told you that I had to range to my left. And in doing so, it was one of those liners that if it gets up in our booth.
Blue darter.
That blue darter. It's got to get up real fast, and it's a screamer, top spin. It's got down spin. It's moving. And I had to headset on, short leash, get over there, being pulled back by headphones, and reach over to protect my partner. And yes, overreached, wham.
Okay.
Okay? That's how it went down. That's the only way I can describe it. You know, there was one, I can't believe you don't talk about that one, that it was right there and it poop.
Yeah, that happened here.
Yeah.
I think it was a Drew Butera foul ball.
I caught his in Kansas City.
Okay, was it then Dozier maybe?
We always had Dozier. We always got foul balls.
Where I played the role, Duke, of Lombardozzi. That Danny dropped the ball.
Right.
And because I was laughing, I got pinned up against the side of the boards, the hockey boards in our booth.
Yeah.
And I felt like Lombo.
Okay.
And it's funny because the next day he showed up and he goes, "Hey, look at this."
Yeah.
He was so proud.
Beat up.
He was so
I got a hockey check right into the side.
He was so proud of that bruise. Well, Maeda's still out there, and here's a guy that touched him for a homer.
I'm still puzzled at the repeated use of the term range. I mean, these booths are not very wide, and I don't. Range suggests that your legs were moving, that there was lateral movement.
There was
of some sort, but it just strikes me that it was a lunge, a blindfolded attempt to try to catch something a little bit to your left.
A little bit. Well, if my partner would have called it, I would have had no problem.
I am not allowed to. We've been over this many times. Dick, do you carry your contract with you everywhere you go like I do? I look at my contract all the time when this comes up, and it's right here. It's page 5, paragraph 3, line J. Mr. Provis is not permitted to catch any foul ball at any booth across any major league ballpark.
Okay.
So it's in my contract. Therefore, I listen to what was written, and I abide by those rules, and I lean on the Fresno State Hall of Famer to make said plays when they are readily available.
You know, one thing that I hope isn't in question is the effort.
Effort is always there.
It's the execution that really sucked.
As Avila swings and misses, he strikes out. Well, you could say that. You could put it in those terms. That hurts. Huh. Yeah.
Aren't you glad I stuck around for the middle
that's pretty good.
Yeah, boy, you're good. I mean, I got 2/3 of an inning. I'll be right over there, Dick.
Hey, trainer, cut man.
That's another thing that's in Corey's contract is that he needs to have travel with a emergency cut kit. Here's Kirilloff. He takes it outside. Kirilloff flew out, hit the ball well.
See, Dick, you were wondering what you were going to do when you handed the reins over to Danny for these middle innings, right? This is what we do.
He stirs
Stir
the
the pot a little bit. Got a big old bowl of stew.
I mean, we're going to be working in these booths side by side Wednesday, and for every game after that. But I got what, 2 layers of plexiglass between him and me, and whatever this is, sheetrock or whatever. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good.
You are.
You're the one that's got to sit next to him.
A line drive, 1 out base hit, and as Kepler goes over to cut it off. Another nice swing by Kirilloff. 1 out single.
Well, I've learned over the years now, this is our 9th year together. If the Cupertino kid drops the backpack or rings the bell or says, "Do you want to dance?" you pump the brakes and put that puppy in reverse and go backwards.
Especially if that bell rings and we are in an elevator. Oh, you're in trouble.
And that's where you and I differ. I learned years ago, after about year 2 or 3 of working with Bert Blyleven, never
Get in an elevator.
to ride in an elevator with a broadcaster.
Pitch outside, Maeda. Getting close to that pitch count. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen right now. Bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom part of the lineup here, Whitfield, and then followed by Adams, 1 out. The Twins get something. He tries to bunt it. He bunts it foul, and it looked like it hit him outside the batter's box, but
that's what Garver's pointing that got Whitefield in fair territory.
Right.
And that was a play, Paul Molitor, that was something he would always watch. When he was managing the Twins, he thought that would be one that if he could tweak any play in terms of review, what play would he like to review? Not that it happens too often, but that was one he would often point at.
And the other one was if the ball lands past the third base or first base umpire, then
you can review.
You can review
beyond the umpire.
But if it lands in front of them, then you cannot review that. Pitch outside, and Garver framing it. He wants to know where that is.
Well, that's all got to take a back seat, though, doesn't it, to the running lane violations that we see all the time?
What do you do with that, Dick? I mean, I hate it. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, we saw that in the World Series. And, a right-handed batter, now Whitefield, if he hits a little number in front of the plate, or if he successfully bunted and ran, the most direct route for a right-handed batter to get to the bag is to run in fair territory, right? And we've got replay now, and every split second counts in terms of safe or out.
Strike 3 looking nice with breaking ball there. 6 strikeouts now. I looked that up when that running lane came in, and I want to say it was around the 30s, 40s, and it had everything to do with a catcher not able to throw to first base because the base runner was in the line. So they said, okay, we'll give you half of it. So the first half, that runner can run inside the playing field. Then after the second half, they would like him to get in that lane. But again, I'm with Dick. You're going to run a little snake pattern to get back in there. And that lane, the base is on the other side of the chalk line. So I don't know if you've seen those softball bags where they have actually 2 bags. You should try one of those.
Well, the umpires wouldn't like that, because then if the ball hits the bag, then they have to rule whether it's fair or foul.
I know a lot of guys will just kind of, if it's going to be a bang-bang play, they'll just throw it in the runner's back anyway. Runner goes, and this ball's skied into right center field. Lamont Wade, it's Kepler. It's going to be Kepler catching and calling. And he puts that one away. That could be it for Maeda here this afternoon. Other than the first inning, 1, 2, 3 inning, he's got 6 strikeouts. But he's had base runners on every inning.
Wes Johnson coming over to talk to Maeda with the translator to kind of review what's happened here in the 4 innings, and I think you're right. He's done for the day. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to be a pitcher, and certainly not starting on Friday, but I wouldn't mind it at all if I had to pitch with men on base in these practice games, in these practice innings, because ultimately that'll decide whether you succeed or fail. If you went boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm not sure that that would be as beneficial as having to work out of a jam and pitch from the stretch a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that, but the meeting that they're having with Wes Johnson right now with Maeda, Mitch Garver, so collectively they got everybody down there and pretty much kind of just recapping maybe his performance or some mechanics part of it. Interpreter is there. I believe that's LaTroy Hawkins, special coach in camp now, also in the conversation right now. So
Tyler Duffy, he worked a scoreless fourth inning, gave up a hit, but this is something that we haven't seen too much of yet in these scrimmage games, is that a reliever goes down, then comes back up.
Yeah.
Relievers have been getting an inning, but Wes Johnson wants the bullpen guys to be about 20, 25 pitches, but now maybe a case where Duffy may just see one hitter just to see what it would be like to throw, sit down, come back out, and face the guy. Cody Stashak is warming up with the bullpen.
And that's part of maybe Stashak coming in the middle of an inning, but it'll be Lamont Wade, top of the fifth inning. It'll be Corey Provis taking you the rest of the way.
All right, Danny, thank you. It is Lamont Wade Jr. who popped out his first time as the fifth inning begins. Duffy's fastball is on the inside corner, and that is strike one. Stashak is ready in the bullpen. Larnach on deck, and then Travis Blankenhorn. And the 0-1 is rolled foul down the first base side, skipping past the Twins dugout. It's a 3-1 Team Polanco lead, the home team, the team in white, as we start the fifth inning. Home runs today, Eddie Rosario in the first inning, Alex Avila in the second. And the 0-2 is high from Duffy, ball one. Duffy coming off by far, fellas, his best big league season. And he just really succeeded last year, like so many in that bullpen. An amazing second half. And the 1-2 pitch is popped up. Left center shallow. Polanco out. Adams in from left. It'll be Adams reaching out to his left, calling and catching one away.
Duffy's always been a control pitcher, rarely walks anyone, but what he really did successfully last year was he came into the season with a .265 opponent batting average, and last year opponents hit just .201 against him. So if you don't walk people, and we know he hasn't had a history of giving up home runs, and then you don't give up many base hits, well, you should have a good year, and he had a great one.
Yeah, wondering here if Duffy, if that was going to be the plan, to face just one hitter, as he had the baseball sitting on top of the rubber and he picked it up with his glove as Duffy vacates the mound with his own rosin bag. And he will come out, and sure enough, we will see Cody Stashak come in. And you see Stashak bringing his own rosin bag.
I think one thing that benefited Duffy, we always said when he was a starter, he had three pitches and probably a fastball, curveball, best pitches, and was working on a little bit of a changeup. But he incorporated that curveball, and now it's more or less a slider, and the spin rate has increased, and that's he's developed a nice slider to go with. His velocity went up on his fastball, and now he's 94, 95. So pitches up in the zone. He just has good command, and that slider pitch has really been devastating for him.
And Dick, he was at an interesting point in his career entering 2019 because he almost had to be open-minded, because what he had been doing, it wasn't working and it wasn't going to keep him here. So he bought in to ideas from Wes Johnson, to Jeremy Hefner, from Josh Kolk and Jeremy Zoll, and so many more in the front office and the R&D department about ditching the two-seamer, relying heavily on that four-seam, and also utilizing that different, arm action on his breaking ball.
And then you look at, the role models he had on the staff, Jake Odorizzi, with that elevated fastball, that four-seamer that he would use so effectively. It's one thing to, buy into it, but then when you get the results, the positive reinforcement, and you can see that pitching approach succeed with other guys on your team, well, all it does is reinforce, what the coaching staff has been trying to preach to him.
And now we'll see Cody Stashak 26 years old, 13th round pick back in 2015 out of St. John's University in New York. And the batter is Trevor Larnach. Stashak walked only one batter last year. Struck out 25 in 25 innings. As the first pitch fastball stays up, ball one.
I think the Twins are looking for Stashak to take the same path toward improvement that we talked about with Duffy. You don't walk people. Keep the ball in the ballpark for the most part. If you can limit the number of hits, well, then you've got a reliable arm. And you talked about the strikeouts, 25 against just one walk. That's pretty impressive.
Try to paint the outside corner, just missed that one. And now behind a really good hitter. And Larnach 2 balls and no strikes. And this is where Larnach is going to look to be aggressive. Does Stashak go breaking ball? Well, stays with the fastball, and that just misses high. And a 3-0 count. These young hitters, whether it's Larnach or Rooker, if they have a 2-0 count, it's not too often that they will just kind of wait back and just take a center cut fastball. Maybe green light here, 3-0. Blankenhorn on deck. And here it comes. Nope, he takes. That's a fastball strike. Larnach was named the Florida State League MVP last year with the Miracle, the first Twin ever to win that award. (3-1) up and inside, and Larnach draws a walk. So we're speaking of Stashak's impeccable command, and right on cue he walks the first batter he sees today. And now Blankenhorn added to the 40-man roster this offseason. Plays second. Seen him some at third here in these scrimmage games. He's at that spot today. Blankenhorn struck out back at the third inning. Runner goes, and the pitch is a strike. Throw to second base is late. So Larnach running first pitch and swipes back. Good throw from Avila, but a better jump from Larnach. He picked the right pitch.
Got 4 steals last year for Fort Myers. But, boy, when you don't. Fast runners sometimes can't steal bases. But if you can steal bases, that should mean you're a pretty good runner. And so, in addition to everything else, this guy can run awfully well.
Swing and a miss. That breaking ball spiked, and that's the pitch that Wes Johnson is saying is constantly improving. With Stashak, get ahead and use that slider, breaking ball, spike it. And now head 0-2 with Max on deck. Stashak looks back to second. 0-2 count. And here it comes. Popped up. Playable infield near third. Donaldson, red glove on, looking up, makes the squeeze, and that is out number 2. Now Kepler saw Devin Smeltzer twice today and struck out on both occasions. And now he'll face a righty in Stashak. Now Devin Smeltzer, he went 3 innings today, struck out 3, gave up only 1 run. Home run to Rosario, 3 make that 2 hits. From the stretch, and here it comes. Loop to shallow right field, and that ball sinking, but hangs up for Whitefield to make the catch. And that is out number 3. So the Twins leave 1. We have completed now 4.5, and Team Polanco with a 3-1 lead on this Monday afternoon here in downtown Minneapolis. A beautiful day. Twins will have a light workout tomorrow and then depart for Chicago tomorrow afternoon. As Kyle Hammer's going to chase his chair that fell off the risers behind us. Big thud that we heard behind Danny, and that happens once in a while. Chairs just seem to just fly off risers on their own.
That happens a lot with him.
Yeah. It happened in Tampa. Remember that? Tampa a couple years ago. He's blaming the wheel.
I don't know what he was reaching for something and he rolled the chair, the wheel right off the platform. And
was it a Duke's Knutson cinnamon roll?
Oh.
One of those bakery items where sometimes, and much like we are here, the visiting TV booth is separated by pane of glass.
Yep.
And I think the Duke one time greeted us with, "Here, take your cinnamon roll," and he shoved it right
on the glass
on the window.
But that was done in a lighthearted moment. It wasn't done in anger.
Hey, has Danny ever appeared, speaking of Tampa,
On
has he
your
ever
opening
climbed
day, yeah.
out on that catwalk and just popped up maybe behind you and Bert on a TV open? Has that ever happened before?
He photobombed us once, risked his life in doing so, but I know that's nothing new for him.
Every day.
But yeah, and of course there is no reciprocation for the TV guys to horn in on the radio show. We can't, or maybe we're just too professional to want to do something like that. I don't know, but we would never think of interfering with your radio broadcast in any way, shape, or form.
You're welcome to. It may go well, it may not. It may backfire down the road, but because the Cupertino kid, he remembers everything. Everything.
Well, I just, we like to have fun. We're around like the players, they have fun with one another. We broadcasters, we travel together as a group, and, we're together. And like you said, Dick, we do some dinners together and we do some other things. But, one thing that I learned a long time ago, you do not fall asleep on a bus, especially traveling into Baltimore.
Yeah, if you have a bus ride from D.C. to Baltimore, if you fall asleep, if you're going to do it, keep your shoes on. Keep your shoes on. As Polanco leads
I got
off.
my shoes back. It was the $800 orthotics that I never got back.
Oh.
Pitch is down and inside, ball one.
Yeah. I thought it was 300 initially.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation.
Okay. And they're probably
Interest.
making better ones now.
Cost of living.
Now the 1-0 to Polanco, that's pulled foul. Maeda is still out there. Polanco is 1 for 2. Now you were given the chance, Dick, to recapture those expensive orthotics, but you did not partake in said game.
Well, I don't recall that at all. How was I going to get my $800 orthotics back?
I thought there was a game of hot or cold.
Hot or
that
cold.
Was, floated your way to try and
as
seek
Dick
out.
you were leaving your seat, going toward the front, cold. Stepped off the bus. I hollered, "You're really cold."
Into left, Rosario charging and grabs it. 1 out.
Well, I went through elementary school and I played the elementary school games. I didn't figure I had to go back to that.
But again, I don't want to grow up too fast.
Oh, I think it's too late for that.
But you know what the best part of that was? And that was watching Dick, because we came through the loading dock.
Yeah.
Remember that? They let us in through the loading dock. And it.
Oh, inside on the hands. Don't want to see that. And Donaldson appears to be all right. Maeda concerned about his teammate. And Donaldson is at first base.
Donaldson's looking at his forearm, his right forearm, which is perhaps some consolation. It's not on his wrists or fingers. And he's giving 2 thumbs up. He just got hit. It looked about halfway up between the hand and the elbow.
And Matt Biancuso, one of the Twins trainers, and Donaldson said, "I'm fine. Go away." And so Matt and Rocco Baldelli, as we look at the replay here in the right forearm area, and right away he put that thumb out to Maeda saying, "I'm all right." I was asking Wes Johnson just before these scrimmages began about, are the pitchers going through the protocol that they normally would come the regular season, and that do you want them to be studying film and getting their minds right about how they're going to strike out, major league hitters, even though they're facing their own teammates? As Nelson Cruz takes down low ball 1, he said, not so much. He said, we want to execute a normal game plan, but we don't want to work really hard in just in case one maybe gets away during these scrimmage runs. And the 1-0 to Cruz, and that's a strike. Nelson, an RBI double back in the 30s, also struck out. Third at bat against Maeda. And the 1-1 is carved foul to the seats right side.
I would imagine that Don Cooper already has had some restless night's sleep trying to figure out how his pitching staff can pitch to Nelson Cruz. He absolutely wrecked White Sox pitching last year.
But that home run he hit above the batter's eye in center out of the concourse area where the cameras are set up.
Didn't he have a 3-homer night
game
there in Chicago?
Made it to his 39th birthday without having a 3-home-run game, and then after his 39th birthday last year, he did it twice. How's that possible? Well, you'd think he would have done it, with the Orioles or with the Rangers or something. He'd never done it. Then he turns 39, and people are going, I wonder how much is left. And then he has 2 3-home-run games.
Donaldson off first, 1 out, and the 2-2 pitch is a ground ball pulled foul. He begins the year, his age 40 season now, I guess, with his birthday just occurring on July 1st with 401 home runs, 57th all time. Duke Snider is next on that list at 407. Among active players, he's 4th on baseball's all-time home run list behind Pujols, Cabrera, and Encarnacion. And the 2-2 was a good pitch from Maeda to try to come in, and Cruz popped it foul.
Isn't it Cabrera with Detroit? I think one of the few guys that maybe has a chance for 3,000 hits. I thought Markakis might have had a chance, but he's opting out this year. But I think Cabrera's got a legitimate chance to get 3,000 hits.
2-run game. And again, the 2-2 pitch is hit in the air softly into center. Ramon Wade Jr. has a beat on this one. He's got it. And there are 2 down.
There's any chance, Danny, that if the hitters come out ready to swing the bats, if the pitchers aren't significantly ahead of the hitters, which is what I think we might see, but that's just my opinion, but that the whole notion of, okay, well, we got to have spring training for 6 weeks and all that, do you think that'll change?
This could be a good benchmark that to maybe either, like you say, shorten the spring training up, and maybe 6 weeks is overrated. But they've crammed a lot of baseball into a short amount of time here.
Well, in March, spring training was cut short by 2 weeks, and then they came back with 2.5, 3 weeks of training camp here. So there's actually been an extra sequence of days in prep for the season than there would have been if we'd let the spring training and the regular season run its course.
But credit to the players. I mean, you're home for what, 2.5, 3 months? And then all of a sudden, come on out and work out. I'm sure these guys have been doing some activity. And the fact that it's also here in July, I think helps out a lot rather than if you're trying to work out in cold weather.
And the 1-1 upstairs, snap throw back to first, and pinch runner Jack Reinheimer came in to run for Donaldson before this at bat from Gonzalez, and Reinheimer back in safely. And Marwin, a guy that began the shutdown period initially here in town before heading back to his home in Houston. Maeda was working out in Los Angeles. And the 2-1 upstairs again, ball 3. So a 3-1 count in a 3-1 game. In the bottom half of the 5th. Cave on deck should Gonzalez reach. Reinheimer leads, stays, and that is low and inside, ball 4. So 2 on now for Cave, as Garver's going to head out, have a chat with Maeda.
No activity in the Twins bullpen, so the Twins want Maeda to fight his way through this. We thought perhaps after 4 innings he'd be taken out. There was a conference between Wes Johnson and Maeda through the translator, and comes back out in the 5th inning and hits one guy and walks another. But again, it's all designed to stretch Maeda out in the hopes that come this weekend, whenever he makes his first regular season start, that he'll be a little bit stronger because of it.
The walk a moment ago, his first issue today after hitting Donaldson. So now 2 down. Cave, who's flied out and grounded out to second. Twins have a shift on with Adrianza, Arraez, and Sano defending on the right side of second. And here it comes. Cave swings and sends one foul weakly towards the first base dugout.
Corey, 6 strikeouts by Maeda. Pretty good here. That was his first walk. Has hit a batter, but he's been dancing around trouble all afternoon here. And I think that's what we've seen from Maeda. Maybe that's the track record. The scouting report. And he's got an arsenal of pitches, but really tries to nitpick and pitch off the plate.
And the 0-1. That one disappeared. Good off speed there. And now it's an 0-2 count. Now, his 4-seam fastball last year averaged about 92 miles an hour. He threw that pitch less in 2019 than he did in 2018. Relied more on slider, changeup combinations. Even backed off his curveball. And produced an ERA in the low 4s. And the 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, elevated there. So he stayed down, then came up, and Cave strikes out. Maeda with 7 strikeouts. And the Polanco-led Twins leave 2. Still a 3-1 game. And now through 5. And we are scheduled to play, I believe, 1 more inning. The plan was to have 6 innings today, and Cody Stashak will indeed come back out and begin the top half of the inning. Hope you've enjoyed this today. It's been a lot of fun with Dick Bramer, Dan Gladden, Corey Provis as we wrap up the streamcast, these webcasts that we've had the last few days here on FoxSportsNorth.com and TwinsBaseball.com. Eddie Rosario began the day, went down and stroked a curveball to the overlooking right for a home run. Kenta Maeda on the mound. A good first inning for him. Struck out Donaldson and Cruz, but then Alex Avila went opposite field for a 2-run homer out to left center. And it was a 2-1 game after 2. Then in the 3rd, Devin Smeltzer, who looked good today. The fastball working, the slider working, struck out a few. But then the Twins came back, and Nelson Cruz RBI double. In the bottom half of the inning, scored Jorge Polanco. Dick Bramer found a foul ball and was excited about that. And I think that is an image we will see often throughout the 2020 summer campaign. The Duke in a celebratory mood, jumping up and down after snagging a foul ball.
So I got that to look forward.
There you go. So I think we may see that image a time or two before this season ends. So a 3-1 game. Donaldson is back out after Reinheimer came in to run for him. But see, Donaldson's okay after getting hit by a pitch on his arm. And Twins bullpen is quiet. Last inning, Duffy came out, retired 1 batter. And Stashak came in, but Stashak looks like he'll have the bulk of the 6th inning. It'll be Garver, Rosario, and Sano due up.
What do you think about the situation surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays? Terrible situation where the city of Toronto is not letting the Blue Jays play there, and now I guess they're going to be playing at least some of their games in Pittsburgh.
Has that been finalized? I read that
Some
this morning
games,
that
yeah.
so they're going to have some games at PNC Park. And Stashak delivers to Garver, and a first pitch fastball stays high. Ball 1. It's you know, and that's what the government. You know, the Canadian government decided. That's all within their right, but just the timing of it to happen so late, Dick, before the regular season begins. And the 1-0, that's yanked foul, pulled it. As Tony Diaz outside the box at 3rd, 1 ball, 1 strike. unsettling, right? To
Well,
just try to get everything in order this late.
And I can't help but wonder if things were a little bit, if the numbers regarding the virus were a little bit better here, whether they would have had a different response.
Oh, I think that was it, don't you? I think that was the deciding factor. 1 ball, 1 strike to Garver. And Stashak tries to paint and misses away. That's become one of my favorite series each summer, is when the Blue Jays come to Target Field and the 2-1 is popped up. This will be playable behind the bag at third. Donaldson drifting over to his right near the coaching box, and he'll make the catch. 1 down. But just how many Blue Jay fans come to Target Field, especially for a summer weekend series, and this place is lively when Toronto comes to town.
Yeah, and the same is true in Seattle, when in Western Canada, where they draw a lot of fans from across the border, and it's going to be a different situation. It was going to be different in Toronto, more different than any place else, because they had a fine system set up that if the players there, at least the home players, I'm sure the same rule would have applied to visiting players.
As Eddie swings, hits one deep but foul.
If they were found outside their quarantine area, the fine was $750,000 Canadian dollars, which translated to only $550,000 US dollars. But my goodness, wouldn't that be enough to make even a Dan Gladden stay in his hotel room?
That or run real fast.
He's outside.
He ain't catching me.
But that's a pretty serious approach to having people stay in the bubble.
Dick, I talked to some people that have cabins up there in Canada, and you cross the border, go up there, they want you quarantined for 14 days at your cabin, and a lot of people are electing not to go up there because of that. But our guys, they go to Chicago. They're being discouraged from going out to restaurants and going out and socializing. They can, I guess, if they elect, but be careful. You jog on the beach down there and get some exercise to get outside. They're saying that they can't do that, but just be safe about it.
Well, Cleveland Indians had a player that kind of violated what was considered to be a team trust, socialized, and didn't come up with a positive test, but word came to Terry Francona that he was out doing things that had been agreed upon that players wouldn't do, and he was pretty much put in exile for a couple of days. The Indians had a pretty much zero tolerance policy on that, and you've got to respect that too.
Full count to Eddie Rosario. It's a 3-1. Team Polanco lead here in the 6th inning. Sano on deck, bases empty. Rosario with a home run off Devin Smeltzer earlier. And the payoff, he sends one foul behind the plate. Yo-Hyung Park, who covers the Twins for MLB.com, had a great story on Rosario. This was back in February. And really, the story, Dick, begins with when you and Eddie were sitting and chatting at Twins Fest. And when Eddie was reflecting back on his 2019 season, and yet he set career highs in some offensive categories, but areas that he still wants to improve upon. And the 3-2 pitch is popped up. Got jammed infield. Donaldson over again to his right. Sunglasses on. He'll make the catch for out number 2. And we know that Rosario, he is a free swinger. He's a dangerous hitter. He's a really good bad ball hitter, as we saw on the home run earlier today. But some other numbers that caught his eye, these are his words, quote, "Every bad number I want to try to get better at. Defense, walks, OPS, those are the numbers in the game right now that are bad for me. Okay, I want to try to change that, and that's it." Can you do both? Can he be aggressive but still be more selective as he begins to process how he wants to perform now in 2020? It's a big question, Danny, and we talked about this a bit yesterday.
I think once it's in your DNA, it's in your DNA.
Swing and a miss on Sano.
And it's in this guy's DNA, too, that you're not up there looking for a walk. You're looking to make contact. You're looking to to be aggressive and find that baseball and go hit it.
And the 0-1 fastball is, I'm not sure where that missed, but maybe a tad high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing we saw, though, with Miguel last year, to some degree, he got off to a poor start, but then his plate discipline improved so much, and pitchers had to throw it over the plate. And I'm not sure, to be honest, whether Eddie Rosario's earned that reputation yet around the league. And if you can pitch to him and not throw him strikes, why would you throw him strikes?
Now, Miguel led the Twins last year in pitches seen per plate appearance at 4.35, just ahead of Garver. Astudillo, the fewest, no surprise, at 2.81. Buxton, 3.49. Rosario was 3.51 on the lower end as Miguel checked, or did he commit? And they're going to rule that a strike. And now a 2-2 count. So with that, Eddie, the home run numbers were great. 109 knocked in, but the on-base percentage was low. It was at 300. And the 2-2 is upstairs.
I know Eddie well enough to know that what he wants, of course, is a world championship, but he wants to make an all-star team. And he probably should have made the all-star team 2 years ago. Last year, he was in position to get some strong consideration. Then he rolled his ankle rounding first base. That pretty much took him out of the running for an all-star spot. But, I mean, he's an all-star caliber player, and let's hope that in 2020 he has a great half season, even though there's no all-star game.
Good breaking ball there from Stashak. He strikes out Sano, and that is out number 3. So Stashak retires Garver, Rosario, and Sano. And Stashak picks up his first strikeout. Takes his rosin bag back to the dugout. And it's a 1-2-3 inning.
I think that might be it here. Is Baldelli out talking to the umpires like they're leaving.
Well, we can't continue on without umpires.
And I believe that is it. Said the goal for Maeda was to reach about 85 pitches today, and we don't have a pitch count going up here, but 85 pitches was the threshold, and perhaps indeed he did reach that number here today as, the players are vacating the dugouts and grabbing their bats and equipment, and that will wrap up this game and our webcast here today. So, guys, this was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. Some laughs, entertainment, and Duke, have a great year. We'll see you here on Wednesday.
We'll be next door all year long.
Should be fun. So for Dick Bramer, Dan Gladden, Kyle Hammer, and our great crew, Corey Provis saying so long. We're back with you on Wednesday night. Exhibition game you can hear on radio and watch on television as well when the Twins take on the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Until then, so long, everybody.
know if our group could be more ready than they are. I mean, if you really look at the number of days that, we've been able to get out here and get our work in, we're not even really talking about 3 weeks. You're talking about, I don't know, roughly 2.5 weeks of having your group. There were other guys that came in even after that into camp. All that being said, physically, our guys are in very good shape, and mentally they're ready to play. I think, almost without exception, you go down the line, you spend time around these guys. I know a lot of you know them well. And you start getting into discussion with them about how they're doing. You just read their faces. I think they're ready to start the season. I think they're excited to get out there and play on opening day. This is something that everyone's been waiting for a long time, especially the players.
No, dile que muy bien, que emocionado.
Really happy that I'm back with my teammates, and it was good to be out there. Right now I consider this practice just to get ready. Right now, not 100%, but opening day is going to feel different, and we'll be ready for it. Yesterday I took a lot of at-bats on the live VP, and today I took 3 at-bats, and overall I'm feeling okay. So hopefully we'll be ready for opening day.
Estaba trabajando en mis primeros pasos.
Just working on my first steps, breaking with the pitch, moving forward to the sides, and obviously just considering all those aspects. I talk a lot with the guys in the infield, Marwin, Polanco, and St. Donaldson as well, just how so they can give me recommendations on how I can get better on my defense and things like that. I worry a little bit when I was running, and I felt something in the knee, and obviously I had a surgery in the past, so it's just a precaution.
The way I view it is you have to play well during any season.
There's Kirilov, and he laces that into right field, and that ball is off the wall. Nope, home run off the flower beds. Kirilov opposite field home run, and he's got that kind of power.
Is there a better swing in the organization than that swing, Derek?
He's got a great swing. I mean, absolutely pure hitter all the way through. He's fun to watch in the cages and to drive a ball out to left field there. I know there's a little cross breeze here, but to get on a ball, stay on a ball away like that, and drive it out of the ballpark. Most young hitters don't do that.
The team out here right now as Rooker skies to center field, hits it well. Cave back on the track, and he'll run out of room. That ball's gone. Some power there. Rooker hit 14 last year, drove in 47, and going straight away center field. So like that, tie it right back up. And Bailey, he gave up 2 in the 4th inning and a leadoff home run here.
Hopefully that's the case, that we start crushing pitches, and that's totally that whole year. It can be the opposite. If you get on this lawn and they find a way to how to get you out, and then you're gonna be in trouble. So we only have to be aware of us, I think we have to take care of us first, and then we're gonna be good because we know that we can compete against anyone, and the whole division is full of talent, so it's not going to be easy. He's a huge part of the lineup. He represents us pretty good on first base, and his presence on the lineup is makes it even more dangerous. I love him. We all love him. We missed him, and we're happy to have him back. You know, I have a lot of respect for him too.
そうね、今までやっぱりどっちかというと練習っていう雰囲気が強かったけど、今日はしっかり。
Prior to tonight's outing, it was more of a practice game set up as opposed to tonight, which like you said, with the umpires and the full outwear or full uniform. That definitely brought my mental game side on into what the season might look like. So in that sense, I was mentally preparing myself going into the season.
Looking around, I think it's pretty obvious that when you sit in different dugouts and you put on jerseys, guys start competing, and that's what these guys like to do. They're athletes. They're good athletes. They like to compete, and that's what we saw tonight. And they're obviously deep down pulling for their teammate on the other side as well. But they like to do well, and they want to win. And so it was good. I think the competitiveness really came out, and that's exactly what we're looking to see right now.
I was asked today what I was looking forward, or who I was looking forward to seeing the most, and it's that guy right there, Kenta Maeda. We've seen him on television, of course, and saw how impressive he was in the National League. Maeda gets ahead of Arraez. Tapper to second. Gonzalez to Polanco. Double play wraps up the first inning.
This has got to have a normal feel somewhat for these guys.
And a strikeout of Adrianza, one away. Bouncer to short, and it'll be another ground ball double play. Maeda getting one of those in each of his half innings of work.
He's worked with a good pace. It's been a good outing so far for him.
Sharply hit, could be another double play. And Maeda's third ground ball double play in 4 innings. He's given up just the leadoff home run to Kepler.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Breaking ball got him. And a high fastball got him. 1-2, and the ball hit towards the hole, picked off by Forsythe, and a wonderful play by Logan Forsythe. Wow. Diving to his right, and with his back to first base, he did a 180 and threw him out. And a strikeout of Stanton, 4 no-hit innings. Right off the end of the bat. Odorizzi into a slide, comes up with a beautiful play. Jake Odorizzi on a swinging bunt makes a great play for the first out. Driven hard to left field. Grossman's over. Jamaica tumbling cash. 5 no-hit innings for Jake Odorizzi. Drive to right center field. Cave is in the gap. Hauls it in front of the wall. Another 1-2-3 inning for Odorizzi. To left. Retreating is Grossman. 7 no-hit innings for Jake Odorizzi. Struck him out. 5 outs away. To left center field. Headed towards the gap. And that'll break up the no-hit bid. And the Yankees have a run. And Odorizzi's bid for a no-hitter goes out the window. Oh, there's a called third strike. Breaking ball over for a strikeout to start the ball game. Strike 3, 2 down, and Odorizzi's off to a good start. And Naquin strikes out. And Odorizzi strikes out the side in a 1-2-3 first inning.
7th pitch of this at bat upcoming to Perez. Ramirez at first base, 2 outs. He goes, and the 3-2 got him. Strike 3, swinging a fastball ends it. Odorizzi has fanned 4 through 2 scoreless innings. And the 0-2 pitch got him. On a slider.
I thought that was the best pitch you threw the entire game, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the reason.
3 straight strikeouts now for Odorizzi. And another strikeout for Odorizzi.
Odorizzi's 1-2 on the way. Strike 3 right down Broadway. Jake Odorizzi, good shutdown inning. 3 up, 3 down.
2-2. And now 2-3. Second time that Odorizzi has struck out Ramirez swinging.
And here's the pitch. Swung on a miss, got it by him. There's strikeout number 11, and that ties Jake Odorizzi's career high.
Take a look at Jake Odorizzi. Been a lot better his last 2 times out.
And a high fastball. And Chirinos strikes out. Second strikeout of the inning.
On that same plane at your chest, and you'd end up swinging at it.
How about that?
But that's about it.
And another breaking ball gets a swinging strike 3. Got him with a high fastball. Got him looking with a fastball. Brilliant pitching by Jake Odorizzi.
On the lower level of the minor league side.
Jake Odorizzi with another strikeout on a high fastball. Fly ball lazily to center. 7 shutout innings for Jake Odorizzi.
Jake Odorizzi, the reigning American League Player of the Week. Well deserved, and he's been very good his last 4 starts.
High and fairly deep left center field. Buxton tracking it to the warning track, leaping and making the catch. Byron Buxton with a great catch against the fence. Timed his leap perfectly. Breaking ball strikes him out. Stewart left at third. Breaking ball on the outside corner, perfectly spotted. And Odorizzi has his second strikeout. It's a strikeout. We'll get your answer in the 4th inning. There's a throw to first to complete the strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning for Odorizzi. He has set down 8 men in a row. And now 1-3, another strikeout. Odorizzi's 4th. Reiner swung at a fastball, then took one for strike 3. 1 down in the 6th. Driven to right. 7 more shutout innings for Jake Odorizzi. He's retired 20 men in a row.
Jose Barrios, his 2018 debut, the 23-year-old from Puerto Rico. 1-2 got him swinging, and Barrios is rolling through 2. Swing and a miss. A high fastball. Alvarez strikes out.
Swung on a foul tip. Garver hangs on.
And the 3-2. Strike 3 called on a fastball at 93 that Rasmus thought was outside. And the 3-2 pitch is looped in the air to right field. Kepler right there to his right. He'll catch it. 16 in a row for Jose Barrios on the mound here in the 9th inning. This marking his 40th career start. And he's 3 outs away from his first complete game. Again, the 1-2 to Jones. And here it comes. He got him. Strike 3 swinging on a breaking ball. Ball game over. A complete game shutout from Jose Barrios. A strikeout ends it. 6 strikeouts for Barrios, an excited 23-year-old on the mound after striking out Adam Jones to end it. Can't even imagine the emotions running through the body of the 23-year-old Barrios right now. And here's the pitch. Check swing and a bender. He went. Strike 3. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, and Perez had no chance. And now the pitch, check swing, high heat. They appeal. He went, and Zimmer strikes out, and that's the inning.
And went around. He tried to hold up. Nice slide piece there. Strikeout number 4. 2-2 on the way. Swung and a miss. Chased badly in the dirt. So there's a strikeout.
3-2. Berrios is going to get another one. Not since Tyler Naquin was in the second inning with a single has anybody reached base.
The 0-1 is lifted to left field. Eddie right there. In a few steps, he's got it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Berrios. He has retired 16 in a row. And the big crowd behind the Twins dugout on their feet.
He's saying, I'm fine. I want to stay in, of course. Yes.
Oh, man, he's taking him out.
Part of the pre-game routine for Jose Berrios. Writes 3 letters. VSD, his daughter Valentina, son Sebastian, and Diego Jose.
Swing and a miss, and Berrios strikes out Palso, 1 down. And there he goes. Just 3 innings into the game, but it sure looks like the White Sox hitters have their hands full here today. 13 up, 13 down. Palka strikes out for the second time.
And the 3-2 pitch, he got him. Strike 3 call. He won away 9th inning. And the 0-2, he got him. Strike 3 swinging on a 10 strikeout game for Berrios. And that's the game. Jose Berrios with his second complete game of his young career. He does it in the finale of this 4-game series as the Twins win 7-2.
I was thinking when I go to bed, I said, tomorrow I want to throw my second complete game. So that's what I did today.
Strike 3, the first of many for Berrios. 2 strikes to Tyler Naquin. Tom Hallion rings him up, and the first inning couldn't have gone any better.
Payoff pitch. Got it. Boy, that was a borderline pitch.
And he strikes out. Berrios' first time through the order. 9 up, 9 down, 4 strikeouts. And if it's that good of a breaking ball, why wouldn't you throw it a lot?
You got him set up. There's nothing you can do. That ball looks so good coming in. And by the time you've decided to swing, it looks like it's at the knees, and it just dives under your barrel.
That is pitching. On the outside corner, Hallion rings him up. And Berrios is back on the beam with a 1-2-3 pitch. And it's the breaking ball that creates strike 3. That's pitching, and what a joy it is to watch when someone has command like Berrios and Kluber have here today. Half swing. Strike 3. Might not be needed. 2 down here in the 8th. And Jose Berrios is going to come out of the game to a thunderous ovation by this sellout crowd.
Feel pretty good. Obviously, with the results that came in, feel a lot better. So just take it day by day and do what I got to do to get back on the field. But mentally, you know, I'm fine. It's nothing I can't control, so I can't get too mad about it. You know, it's one of those things that if it happens, it happens, and I'm just blessed it wasn't worse than what it was. Yeah, I'm a little sore, but opening day, I'm gonna be there. Nothing's gonna stop me. Like I said earlier, I ain't got no limits. So I'm gonna get it right, get ready to go, and get back out there so I can do what I gotta do.
Personally, I feel ready to go. I made a conscious effort to really stay with it throughout the entire course of the layoff of the season approaching. But I mean, as far as the team is looking, it looks, in my opinion, it looks ready to go.
Pitchers are starting to look sharp. They're feeling good, and it's more now of getting in some meaningful games and starting that process of winning ball games.
The season's a week away, or 8 days or whatever it is, and we have to do the best we can as players to recognize that and to prepare ourselves appropriately. And I think more than from the physical standpoint, mentally, because it's just going to be a completely different kind of vibe and atmosphere and energy that none of us are used to. And we can use this time the best we can to prepare ourselves, then that's what we need to do, and that's what I'm doing. And that's physically I'll be fine, but I'm really trying to lock it in mentally every day.
What we're seeing now is guys are honing in a little bit more, and we've gotten a lot of bulk work out of the way. Guys have been on their feet. Their bodies are really in good playing shape. I think it's more honing in on baseball skills at this point, which is great. It's great that we're at this point to be able to do that. These are normally the things that we spend a lot of our time, a lot of our energy on. And this year, obviously, we had a lot of other things to consider. So at this point in the spring, we see our pitchers getting stretched out a little bit more. You see our pitchers working on one or two particular things when they go out there for their outings. You see the hitters' quality of at bats, probably taking it to the next level in some ways with pitches that they're getting to, with pitches that they're not offering at, things like that. I think that's what we're seeing right now. Guys really, truly getting ready for a major league season, as opposed to just getting their bodies back into shape, which is what I think a lot of the league and we are, or we're seeing for the first week or two. One of your friends, one of your teammates is going through something that everyone out there knows is very difficult. And those guys have so much respect for Byron that, they know the difficulty in dealing with it, the physical part of it, the mental part of it. So yeah, the initial reaction is not just to get back to work, even though all of our guys will get back to focusing on whatever comes next. Their mind is definitely with him. That's something that goes on in sports a lot, probably doesn't get talked about very often, but when your brother and your friend and your teammate is dealing with something, that definitely takes a hit in every way, and you would expect that in every way.
Yeah, I don't know my velocity yet. I'm gonna ask after this, but I feel great. I am a little bit disappointed with my fastball glove side. I don't come out very well today, but other than that, I feel good with the changeup, good breaking ball. I'm happy because our hitters, they are swinging better, so that's a good sign for us like a team. certainly looking forward to the game situation practices. Getting back into the 4-day, 5-day routine, along with everyone else, to get ready for the upcoming season is important, and I think we're all on the same page as a team.
We want to get as far as we can, go step by step, and then it's gonna be different, but like it's the same goal. We want to win the World Series, and hopefully we can play a full season. That's the main goal, that everybody stay healthy, the other teams do, and then we can go through a full season and make it fun.
3 weeks just simply isn't enough to get to where most guys want to be. Like nobody's going to be where they want to be probably in that amount of time, and so you got to really lock in on those macro things that make you good. Like I want to throw this pitch to this place and not worried necessarily about how it's moving or anything yet, and just make sure that you're able to locate your pitches.
I mean, a short season, anything can happen. 60 games. I remember it's like winner ball, so we play like 50-something games in winner ball, so it's kind of like that. Probably we're going to play similar, like every game is going to be really important. It's going to be fun because it's going to be a race, full sprint, so we don't have a chance to get into a slow one, I guess. If you're going to be in a slow, it's going to be a short one. So I think it's going to be a new way to see baseball, because we don't used to see baseball like this. Every day it seems like we are more loose. I remember the first day everybody was like tense. We don't want to talk. We don't want to enjoy what we're doing. In the last few games, you can see that everybody's smiling, everybody's getting loose. We're having fun. Like you mentioned, so the games from yesterday was a good example.
It's good. This is my first time really seeing hitters since spring training that are actually swinging. Even the live BP the other day, a lot of guys are just kind of taking. It wasn't the same game environment, so it's nice to see guys, use at bats, use this for what it is, and us getting ready. And I did things today I wouldn't do in normal games, but I've been working on stuff like that. So I thought today went really, really great. It's a good test to be able to flip the switch when nobody's in the stands and seeing if you can do it. And I think I proved to myself today that I have no problem pitching this year. I mean, like I said, all my stuff I was super happy with today. The results were really good. Not too many people scored, but Buck got to see me 4 different times, and he was the one who scored the ball up the best. So if that's the result, so be it. But I thought today went outstanding for me.
All of the guys, took their time to really
keep their bodies in shape and come and put themselves in a position to come back here and look like we hadn't skipped a beat. So I think that's something that Rocco's been really impressed by. I know on the pitching side, Wes feels like most guys, especially the starters, came in having been built up over multiple innings. So when you watch guys throw, and we're getting our TrackMan reports and some of the information on these sim games and inter-squads and live BPs and all of that, it looks really good relative to what you would hope to see at this time of year.
During a normal spring training, everything is just kind of eased very slowly. So at this particular time, you just have to be honest with yourself and the staff, whether it's your pitching coach, your medical staff, whoever it is, and just kind of let them know where your thresholds are at. I think the first time we faced hitters, we went 2 innings, and then the next time we went 4. But it was everything just kind of played by ear, and you just have to be honest. You're going to try to get as ready as quick as you can, but your most important goal is to finish healthy and be able to start the season on the track that you want to.
It's pretty fun, obviously with a short season, everybody's going to come out the gates hot and be ready to go. So just getting out there and knowing that out the gate, every game matters and you can't let things slip. That's what makes the competition fun about it.
We all are waiting for this moment to be back on the field playing baseball. Obviously, it's I think 6th day. We are being a routine, taking ground ball, hit a BP, see a pitcher, we're facing a hitter. But like I say, all that thing doing well, so we are so happy and glad we are back.
I think we were maxed out last year offensively. And then we added, guys like Donaldson, and, now sky's the limit. I mean, I think we can go out there. I know now we have a 2-month season, but I think if we had the chance to play in a full season, we'd be able to break the record we set up last year. Because offensively, power-wise, I mean, I couldn't have imagined a team before I stepped into this one with more power. I mean, I don't think there is.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Garver's got some big hits this year, late innings.
1 for 3 tonight. Drive to left center field. Chased by Brantley. Chased by Brantley. He won't get there. Mitch Garver.
How about that? Way to drive the ball, Mitch. I told you he was clutch. He's been coming through in the late inning all season. Mitch.
Couldn't take advantage of their leadoff walk. The Twins did, and they have their 5th walk-off win of the year.
Boy, I got goosebumps. Woo! Got a fastball middle in, made a mistake, missed his spot, and Mitch Garver made him pay. Nice double, baby.
The Twins have 5 walk-off wins this year, and 3 of them have come against the Cleveland Indians.
Wow.